had now 3 of my body glaze start to grow spores.
Remember when I told you linguistics matter? Here's how that ties into this whole Canvas Beauty spores conversation.
Hey people, how you all doing today? It's your girl Destiny here and welcome to my channel. How you all doing? Hope you guys are doing great. So this video is a video of a popular influencer called Christy that was being called out at what she had to say about Canva body glaze. So if you don't know what Canva body glaze is, you're not alone. I just found out about this because of this story. So this influencer went on to post on her Instagram story, and she was talking about how a body glaze that she kept somewhere for a while after she bought it in bulk, that she went on today and she found out that the body glaze had something in it, and this just got a lot of people talking about how and the body glaze. This body glaze has really gone viral because a lot of people, apparently when I did my research, this is something a lot of women, especially black women, swear by, and it's also a black owned business. So after she posted that video got people talking. But before we get into the main video, I need you guys to see this video that has started this whole conversation, and then we'll come back and talk more.
Officially gonna have to throw away all of my body glaze, and I'm so sad. So this is just a warning. If anybody hopped on the body glaze trend like I did when it came out, I bought probably 8 different body glazes. I was obsessed with them briefly, and then I kind of phased out of them. I use them here and there. I've had now 3 of my body glaze start to grow spores, and I'm gonna show you what I mean. It's making my skin crawl. So hold on, I'm gonna do another video without the filter so you can see the spores that are in this body glaze. All right, so I don't know how well y'all can see that, but those little tiny dots are literal spores that are forming.
So that was the video that got a lot of people talking. A lot of people were saying that why is she calling out the brand and all that. Let me know what you think. What she did, it was wrong. But after she got a lot of backlash on this and people calling her on this, she decided to come on TikTok because somebody took the video from Instagram, reposted it on TikTok, that got everybody talking. So before we get into people's response, she came on TikTok to respond to people's thought, what she was trying to clarify the hair. So we're going to get to people's thought, but let's go hear her try to clarify everything and share our own thought of what she meant about the video, our intention towards this video. But I find this conversation very interesting as a black-owned business being called out by a black woman, what this entails and what it means. But anyway guys, let's go check out this video. But one thing I know, anyway, I'm going to share my thought later on, but let's go check out her trying to clarify the hair, and then we'll come back and talk more.
So it has come to my attention that somebody reposted what I posted on my Instagram story here on TikTok. So now we got to talk about it. I posted on my Instagram story that several of my Canvas Beauty body glazes were growing what appeared to me to be spores or bacterial colonies. And the person that reposted it left out a lot of what I said on my story. So I want to be clear that I was not trying to be shady to Canvas Beauty. I was not trying to encourage people not to shop Canvas Beauty. I just wanted people to be aware of what I thought might be an issue with the shelf life. So I'm going to insert pictures of what my Canvas body glaze will look like. But like I said, to me, it appeared to be spores or bacterial colonies. Now, what I also said in my Instagram story was that I own several of them. I probably own between 8 and 10 of them. I went crazy like everybody did when it was first really hitting the market. I bought a bunch of them, and then I kind of phased out the way you phase out of using products, and I go back to them here and there. I went back to one. I saw the growths on the surface. I scraped the top of it thinking that it was something that I did. Maybe I dripped water in it or something like that. So I scraped the top of it, set it to the side. I went back to it about a month later, and the little whatever on it was back. Picked up another one and saw that around the edges of one, it was also having the same thing happen. Now again, I want to be clear that my concern was probably that the shelf life is not that long on that product. From what I can tell, it seems to be a very raw organic product, and those kind of products don't usually have preservatives in them and things that can help make them shelf stable for very long. And because I did buy so many of them, I don't go through them quick enough. So if it does have a shorter shelf life and that happens after so long, after them expiring, then maybe you shouldn't buy as many. And that's exactly what I said in my Instagram story. So to be clear, I feel like this product is probably just one of those products that's gonna have to develop as the company grows. We see this a lot with small businesses where they have a product, it's amazing, it blows up, and then when they start producing to the masses, they have to start considering things like the shelf life of it, the stability of the product, the science and chemistry behind the product. We saw this with the pink sauce lady. She had an amazing product, but it wasn't shelf stable. She went to a lab, and now it's shelf stable. So I feel like this is something that Canvas Beauty is probably gonna work on as they continue to grow, and I think in the meantime, what could be helpful is maybe care instructions, maybe cards, maybe something on the package that says the shelf life of the product. A lot of people have concerns about how it was stored. I stored it in a cabinet with all my other body and skincare products, so I don't think it was stored in a particularly damp area, but I am in Texas. I also had a lot of people in my DMs after I posted that saying the same thing happened to their body glaze, so I do think that maybe the formula needs a little bit of work, and I think that's part of the growing pains, and I think we need to start giving small businesses, specifically Black-owned businesses, the chance to experience their growing pains and receive constructive criticism. So let's be clear, I'm not hating on a Black-owned business or a small business. I still want to see Canvas Beauty continue to grow and thrive. I just think that maybe we should talk about these issues so that they have an opportunity to learn from them and the consumer can spend their dime wisely. But I never intended for my video to bring any hate towards Canvas Beauty, and I can tell by the comment section of that video that people were definitely being a little negative and weren't really giving the brand a whole lot of grace. We're kind of taking what I said and ran with that. And I do have to hold myself accountable for the fact that I have a very large platform and I have to be careful about how I spread information. If I really had that big of an issue with the product, I could have just messaged Canvas Beauty directly and asked them about it. So I do have to be accountable for the fact that I brought some negative light to a Black-owned business, and that was never my intent. So I do offer my sincerest apologies to Canvas Beauty for not being responsible with the platform that I have and showing the product in a negative light. And I do hope that Canvas Beauty continues to grow and thrive and that you guys continue to shop.
I feel like her coming to explain and also give an apology to Canvas Beauty, I feel like it was well done. And I know that something sometimes can be taken out of context and all that, and I get it, but this video has gotten a lot of people respond. People have so much to say about the brand, even the influencer, what the influencer did and all that. Because I'm into beauty, like you guys know, I love beauty. I buy a lot of skincare, a lot of hair care, makeup and all that. And we're going to talk about product development, shelf life and all that. But let's go check out what other people have to say about this. But I want to know your own take about this. Have you used the Canva body glaze? What do you think about it? Do you still have yours? What are your thoughts on this? I personally, I would love to try it because looking at other videos and how it's really it's so on the skin. I personally, I would love to try this. Okay, but anyway, guys, let's go check out people's thoughts on this. But I also want to know what you think. So go down in the comment section and share your thoughts. Before we get into people's thoughts on this, if you have not subscribed to the channel, now is the time because we post videos daily and we have amazing conversation here. Okay, so let's go check out people's thoughts on this, then I'll come back and share more of my thoughts. But go down and share your own thoughts and click the notification bell when you hit subscribe. Okay,
I've had now 3 of my body glaze start to grow spores.
Remember when I told you linguistics matter? Here's how that ties into this whole Canvas Beauty spores conversation. For those who haven't heard, a creator with a big platform bought some body glaze products. Those are from Canvas Beauty, and she mentioned that after a while there were some sorts of spores growing in her products. The video ended up going viral, and apparently people started dragging her for not going to Canvas Beauty first and giving them the opportunity to fix the situation. So here's where linguistics matter. When people hear spores, automatically we're thinking bacteria and outbreak honey, and that is no word that anybody wants associated with their product or their business. Was her giving her feedback problematic? Absolutely not, because again, you are a consumer, you're spending your money, you're entitled to your opinion on how that interaction or that product is with that company. Would the outcome have been a little different if she had reached out to the business first? Probably, but hindsight is 20/20, and I honestly don't think she had any ill intent by sharing her experience. Spores being thrown out there was definitely something that set off red flags for a lot of people, and a lot of other creators came forward and said, hey, that's actually not what that is, including a microbiologist who did a great video educating everybody that if it were a spore honey, you wouldn't be able to see it with the naked eye. There are also a lot of people in comments on various platforms saying, how did you store the product? Is it in a damp, moist area? Because that is also affecting how the product holds up as well. There were definitely a lot of people sharing education, which I think is a great thing, but this is one of those situations where linguistics matters. It's not a problem to share your experience, but if you're somebody who has a huge platform, being mindful and conscious of the words that you choose to describe certain things probably goes a long way. If she used a different word, would it have been better for a lot of people? I'm guessing so. With that, y'all can't drag everybody for sharing their own personal experience. I don't think everything is intentional shade, and yes, Stormy is killing it with her Canvas Beauty. We know she broke that record for hitting 1 million sales on live stream, and that is incredible to see for a Black woman to accomplish that. But the lady that y'all dragging, is also another Black woman. I personally think it's a good opportunity for Canvas Beauty and their team to step forward and say, actually, sorry to hear what your grievance is, but this is actually what's going on, and explaining to people, hey, this is how you store this product. This is a natural product without preservatives, so this is why you may see certain things. But I think they should spin it and make it into a learning opportunity to educate the public on what they may see and what it actually is. The final verdict, in my opinion, was that there was definitely no ill intent, but you guys let me know what you do when you have a problem with a product. Are you always going to the business and saying, hey, XYZ first? Or is that something that you think people are just calling for because they like this particular creator and brand? Yes, my dogs are messy.
I've had now 3 of my body glaze like start to grow spore.
Beautiful friends, I wanted to stitch this video because we have to be very careful about the information we're putting out on social media, especially when we're trying to bring the spotlight and not in the best way about a brand or their products or service without doing research. And this is not to downplay this young lady's experience. I know nothing about this brand, Body Glaze. I'm assuming it must be a brand on TikTok. I'm not really sure. But there is always a way to handle things diplomatically, right? Before we press record. My advice would have been, before doing this, let's go to the brand and see what this could potentially be in my product and how they can rectify the issue, whether that is giving you a refund or sending you out new product, whatever the case is, or giving them an opportunity to research what this could potentially be in your product. But to jump on the internet and say that this is spores and make it conclusive that this is spores is such a fallacy. And again, this is not to downplay anyone, but education, my friends, is key. My background as a molecular microbiologist and biochemist, and I have been a scientist for a decade, I know that there's no way that you can see spores with the naked eye. They range 1 to 40 microns, and the only way you can see a spore is under a microscope with magnification. Mm-hmm. And what she's trying to do is to show you what it looks like inside the product. There's no way that you can see spores. And spores typically are found in soil, and they are airborne, indoor and outdoor. Unless you have a scientist that is running tests on this product, you cannot definitively say that it is microbial. And there's a difference, friends, between physical and microbial contamination. And I've done a video on this that got thousands upon thousands of views with Jaclyn Hill Cosmetics with her lipstick fiasco some years back. And the problem was that people thought that it was microbial when there were shards and physical contamination. Well, when they ran tests, it was just physical contamination. There was no microbial contamination. And that's what I mean when I say we cannot be on the internet pressing record to defame a brand, their products, without having conclusive evidence. And we have to make sure that we are too doing our research before we're saying X, Y, and Z is the case. There's no spores that is growing in your product. And I'm not the one to tell the people that are asking me after I commented under her video, what is it? I can't tell you what it is because I haven't run tests on her product. And I'm not going to assume what it is. I say give that brand the respect, right, of doing their investigation themselves and rectifying this issue themselves. We have to be fair in everything that we do. And we have to remember that if it was your brand, you would not want someone just jumping on the internet and, defaming your brand or your product. You would want that person, that customer, to go about it the right way, to give you a fair shot of trying to rectify an issue before having thousands of people like your video. And it's such a fallacy. Like, there's no way that those are spores. And unless you have a microscope, and again, spores typically are in the soil or airborne. So I just wanted to bring education to that. I say give this brand a fair shot of rectifying this problem that you're having. And please, for anybody else that is having issues with brands, I highly encourage you to go to that brand and really explain your concerns before jumping on the internet and pressing record and putting out what you think is factual, which really isn't. So that's all I'm going to say to that. The problem with social media is it's too accessible and it's too easy to just press record as opposed to doing things the right way. And it's easy to downplay someone behind a camera instead of dealing with it face to face or over the phone. Or humanity, we need to wake up and we need to do things right, and we need to show love, and we need to be discerning, and we need to use discretion, and we just need to be diplomatic with things other than just going straight into what comes to our minds or how we're feeling in the moment. It's a way to do things. It really is. So I hope Body Glaze can help this young lady with her situation. And, if she doesn't decide to patronize the brand anymore, that is her choice. But I definitely say, give them a fair chance to rectify this issue before doing a part 2, which I feel like if that's what you're going to do. Unless you have a scientist in your wheelhouse that can run tests on your product, there's really no way for you to determine if it's microbial or not. So that's all I'm going to say to that. I'm going to drink my coffee like I intended to do from earlier, and I will see you all in my next one.
So I want to be clear that I was not trying to be shady to Canvas Beauty. I was not trying to encourage people not to shop Canvas Beauty.
Hey y'all, this is Jay from Jylin Skincare, and I wanted to talk about this video, so make sure that you watch it all the way through, because there are 2 things that I just want to address with this. First off is communication. So we live in a place and space now where when stuff happens, what do? We pick up our phone, we make a video, record, whatever, and then post it to the internet. And how do we get here? However we got here, we need to go back. We got to get back to a place and space where our communication really, it goes to the internet when it makes sense and not all of the time. As it relates to a business, when you don't communicate with the business first and give the business an opportunity, and that's ample opportunity. That's not 2 business hours. It ain't necessarily 24 business hours either. But you actually give the business an ample opportunity in order to address what's happening so they can figure it all out, as opposed to us just running to the internet looking for what exactly. While intent might be good, our heart might be in the right place, when you aren't making glowing remarks, unfortunately, you potentially are painting that business in a bad light. You potentially are putting bad feelings or bad taste in somebody else's mouth about that brand. And again, while that might not be your intent, unfortunately, that is what happens all too often, because again, we act very quickly, as opposed to thinking things through and seeing, okay, is what I'm saying, is it actually accurate? Is it helpful? And what impact are my words going to have, out there to the business, to the consumers, and everything else? We got to get back to proper communication where we actually are communicating with people, as opposed to feeling like we have to immediately communicate with the internet at large. You look at the situation that Keith Lee had with the rose and, uploading that video and then deleting it and then having to put together a video kind of explaining what his intent was. If we stop just immediately uploading every single solitary thing to the internet, we could avoid, a lot of stuff that ends up happening that isn't our intent. But for some reason, initially just communicating with people, we don't like to do that as much anymore. We definitely have to get back to that. please understand that this is not me coming at the creator at all, but it is absolutely talking about what has happened with this situation, because as a business owner, I've been through this. I notice it. I see it all the time. That communication is such an issue. I won't say that, but even to the degree of, us understanding how to communicate and using the proper words, because words mean things. They don't mean what we want them to mean. And this is not about, what happened with this creator. I'm talking about personal situations I've been through, and then stuff that I've just seen on the internet. Words don't mean what we want them to mean. Words mean what they mean. And so we have to also utilize the proper words when we're talking to people and dealing with situations. So let's, try to get back to that place and space where we actually communicate with folks. The other thing is, from, one, as a product maker, and the canvas body glaze is a very, very, very wax heavy product. And with waxes, when you are creating with waxes, there is a certain method that has to be utilized. And things can happen. Things can also happen in storage, storage at the facility, storage once the customer gets the product. It's nothing bad at all. It's just wax has to be treated in a certain manner. And if certain things don't happen, then it could create what it appears that that particular creator is seeing in their product. And again, this is just me going off pictures I saw on the internet. But y'all, ultimately my message here is, let's just get back to actual communication. Let's use words properly. Let's not use words when we don't know what they mean. And then let's communicate with people and kind of get a little bit out of this thing where we immediately jump to hopping on the internet. And even though our intent is good, but hopping on the internet to put out a video, and this is whether you have 2 followers or 200 million followers, but hopping on the internet to say X, Y, and Z, to communicate with the internet at large, as opposed to communicating with the people that are directly involved in the situation, because ultimately it can just create situations that could have been avoided if we just say, hey, let me communicate with this person and not communicate with the internet. So listen, y'all, enjoy my beautiful pepper plants. I'm very proud of them because I have been fighting with the squirrels in this particular bed, which is why everything is as close together as it is. I spread it apart, and then the squirrels went to dig, and I said, you know what, I ain't fighting with y'all. But I'm very happy that everything is growing, because this, for the most part, was started with seed that I actually seeded this year, or seeds that came back last year. And y'all, yeah, let's just get back to communicating. Y'all have an absolutely beautiful day.
I know. I want to know what you think about this conversation down in the comment section. Please keep it respectful as always. Y'all on this channel, we're allowed to disagree, but we'll do it in a respectful way. So go ahead, feel free and share your thought. Do you think that the content creator was wrong for coming to the internet straight up rather than to contact the company? Do you think, oh no, she has every right to come and do it, she has every right to share her thoughts and her opinion? Please go down in the comment section and share your thought. Love to know what you think, but please keep it respectful as always. Okay, so here's my own thought on this. Especially as a content creator, this is my own thought. I understand that part of just showing something and be honest about it, like just be very transparent and be honest about it. I understand that part, and the truth is that she posted it with no intention, like just for her Instagram followers and all that, but obviously it blew up and people are talking about it. So I understand that part where you want to be honest to it, but also I feel like as a content creator, you also have to find a balance. I'm in that place where, not where you go outrightly to lie. I'm of opinion, if it was something that I have raved about on the page and all that, and say, oh, this thing is nice, I'll come back and give that feedback. But if it's a new product that I'm trying and I don't like it, or it kind of acts up a certain way, I'll just keep quiet, send it to the write the company and let them know the issues I'm having. That's what I'll do. But if it's a product that I'm having, that I've told my followers, I love this product, I like it, da 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 da, go get yours. It's nice and all that. And the product I feel like it's giving me some type of issues, I will reach out to the company, but I'll also be transparent to my audience and like, you know what, remember this butter I bought, I've noticed some type of things on it, I'm not that sure about it, but I've reached out to them and this is what the company's response is, da 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 da. I'll come back and give them a feedback, because I would not want to blindside people that entrust me and my own opinion to go get something and it's like not that great. Not saying that the Canva body glaze is not that good, but that is what I would do as a contact creator. So I kind of understand where she's coming from, but I would have probably reached out to the company just to, before I even bring it up on social media, so that I can have valuable information to give to my audience. That's to say, because whether you like it or not, we as black, you guys know how I feel about black women. I know that both parties involved. This business is owned by black women, by I think 2 black women, and then this is a black woman. So either way, like, I just feel like this is another way as a content creator, you have to just look out for the other black woman. By gay girl, I use your product, love it, but I noticed da 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 is coming out of it, and it's just reach out and get it. So as black women, we need to find way to be very honest, very transparent, stand on business, but also support each other without coming as if we're attacking each other. Then talking about using big words that we don't know the meaning. I personally, it's something I always tell people: don't say a word, don't pronounce a word when you don't know the actual meaning. And if somebody asks you, explain it, you can. Especially medical, scientific type of words and all that. I try as much as possible to stay away from it. And I feel like as person and as a content creator or an influencer, stay away from big words, even legal issues too. Stay away from big words, especially when you are not an expert in that field. Stay away from big words. Just come out late in a layman's word, because whether I like it or not, the people watching you, the people supporting you, they are just regular shimigo people like you. They are not scientific like you. They don't know all those science words, all those big words, all those big grammar. So just keep it simple and all that. And as for the product, when it comes to product, I feel like the way you store product, I know, yes, you say, oh, you store it with other things and all that. Coming for someone that buys a lot of products, I buy because I try different products. I'm that kind of girl, including with makeup. I've noticed that some makeup, even without being opening and all that I have bought in the past, sometimes grow some certain fungi. And I'm like, okay, probably because I kept it in a moist place. So just be very careful of where you keep something. If it's in your shower, do you actually bathe with hot water and the shower is usually moist and all that? All that kind of affects a lot of organic product, especially a product that has wax, shea butter, butters and all that, especially butters, natural oils and all that. Over time, it will grow some little things on top. So be very, very cautious about it. I personally, I would advise, if you have a body butter or a body glaze, because usually those things are made of natural butters. Also, don't keep it in your shower, because in the shower the temperature goes off and on, and it's usually wet, dampy, moisty and all that. Keep it in somewhere where it will not go melt. Maybe your wardrobe where it doesn't have a lot of moist, but just very dry and fresh. That will help the longevity of your butter. So if you have the body glazed butter and you are like, what's going on here, just take it away from the shower, because I know people from the instant, because why I see a lot of people use it, they use it in shower, after shower. Take it out from there, because it's just going to grow mold. There's no rocket science about it to grow something. No. So I feel like that's what's happening to this sister. I don't know if I'm wrong, but I feel like that's what is happening. And then when you open a product, that's another thing that a lot of people do. When you open a product, if you look at most cosmetics product, skincare product, I know that there's usually a live this thing. I'm going to try and look for one and put it. There's this logo. Look the number on it. It tells you the life on it. So when you open a product, make sure use it on time. Like, I know that urges is for you to try everything, but use it on time, or else it will start developing things. I get it, especially when you're using organic product. Just be very, use it on time. That's what I would say. I personally, I want to really try this body glaze, because I like body butters. I love it. I like natural oils. I won't say body butter, I like natural oil, because I feel like body butters are heavy, but this really looks very sumptuous. I would like to try it. Maybe okay, I'll try and say how I can get it here in Nigeria anyway. But anyway, guys, let me know what you think about this amazing conversation down in the comment section. Let me know what you think about it and what are your thoughts on it generally. So go ahead and share your thoughts down in the comment section. Share this video with somebody that you want to be part of the conversation, because that's what we do here. We have banging conversation. So go ahead and share this video. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up, smash the like button, because this helps YouTube to push out my content for more people to see, and that'll be you supporting this channel and this girl. So go ahead and give it a thumbs up, share it, and leave your comment. Subscribe if you haven't subscribed. Okay, now is the time. Just hit the subscribe button and click the notification bell so you'll be notified once I post video, because we post daily videos. Okay, so with that all said, guys, I'll see you guys in my next video. Deuces.